I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Russell Wilson, are true Super Bowl contenders, and I was completely wrong. Now, coming into this year, I didn't believe the Steelers' hype with Justin Fields as the quarterback. This offense didn't look amazing, and it looked like the same old Steelers, where they had a great defense led by TJ Watt. But this offense couldn't do enough to blow me away or blow teams out. It was just this dirty style of AFC North football, where you run the ball super tough, and you're in a super tight game when it comes down to it. And I was never sold on this team with Justin Fields because they were averaging a little over 20 points a game. They were 4-2. They had that 3-0 start and everyone was so fired up about them, but I was truly never sold. But now here comes Russell Wilson, and a lot of people are questioning this decision. Mike Tomlin, why are you making this switch at the quarterback position when you have Justin Fields who's leading a 4-2 team? And I complimented him when he did it because, like I've been saying, I didn't think the Steelers had truly reached their ceiling with him as their quarterback. And through these last 4 weeks with Russ as the starting quarterback, the Steelers have looked like a completely different offense. Pittsburgh was barely averaging over 20 points a game with Fields as the starter. Now you insert Russell Wilson and they're averaging over 27 points a game, and they're 4-0 since his return. And they've picked up massive wins while he's been the quarterback. They beat the Jets at home. They beat the Commanders, who are on fire right now. And of course, against the Ravens this past weekend, picked up a monumental AFC North division win, and now the Steelers have firm control of this division. And I think it's evident what Russell Wilson gives to this offense compared to what Justin Fields or Kenny Pickett gave to it. Russell Wilson has always been such a great quarterback throughout his career, but obviously he was very underrated after his stint in Denver. But his go-to throw is that moonshot deep ball, and he's been feeding George Pickens in his return. George Pickens, with this switch at quarterback, looks like a completely different receiver. He looks like a top 15 wideout in the league. And I think a really underrated move that this team did at the trade deadline was go get a number 2 receiver in Mike Williams. I wanted them to be more aggressive and try and get some of those superstar names that were floating out there in the offseason and potentially before the trade deadline, but I love the addition of Mike Williams. And we saw him waste no time in his Pittsburgh debut, scoring that game-winning touchdown against the Commanders. And with this passing game being such a threat, we know how great the running game is. They're top 10 in rushing yards per game, and that's led by Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. And I truly marvel at the fact that Russell Wilson has completely been able to turn around this offense. Because of course we know that the Steelers have the best defensive player on the planet in TJ Watt, and this defense has always been so great under Mike Tomlin. And like I said, coming into this year, I was really skeptical on this Steelers team. Could their offense finally match the level of this defense? And they've been doing it over these last 4 weeks. Now they're going to continue to have more challenges ahead. This is one of the most brutal 8-week stretches to close out a season. But so far they're 2-0 on this stretch, going on the road, beating the Commanders, and now beating the Ravens at home. And the schedule's not going to ease up. They've still got to face off against the Browns 2 more times, and no matter what you say, playing a team in the AFC North is not a guaranteed win. They also still have to play the Bengals twice. They'll see the Ravens one more time, this time on the road. They'll see the Chiefs on Christmas Day, and then the Eagles. We understand that this is a brutal stretch of games for Pittsburgh down the stretch. Looking at their 8-2 record right now, I think Pittsburgh was going to finish 12-5 in my opinion, potentially 11-6, but I think right now with this big time win over Baltimore, they are going to secure this AFC North division. But all I can focus on is this team's offense and Russell Wilson. Let's not make it too complex here. We understand that this is one of the best defenses in the entire league. We understand that this team can get it done in the trenches, running the football with Najee Harris. But this team will simply go as far as Russell Wilson takes them. If Russell Wilson can continue to grow his connection with George Pickens in this second half of the year and into the playoffs, this Pittsburgh Steelers team can absolutely contend for a Super Bowl, in my opinion. I'm Caden Kubler, and thanks for watching.